There is a version of you the world has not met yet. A stronger version, a sharper version, a version of you that walks into a room and people can feel the presence before you even speak. But the reason the world hasn't met that version yet is very simple. You haven't built him. You see, most people spend their entire lives waiting to discover themselves. They wait for the moment where everything suddenly becomes clear, where motivation arrives like lightning, where confidence shows up and tells them they are ready. But life doesn't work that way. Confidence is not something that shows up first. Confidence is something you build through action. Strength is not something you wake up with. Strength is something you earn through struggle. And the man you are capable of becoming is not waiting somewhere in the future for you to find him. He is waiting to be forged. Let me tell you something about the word someday. Someday is comfortable. Someday feels safe. Someday sounds responsible, even intelligent. But in reality, someday is a trap. Someday is the place where dreams go to die quietly. People say things like, someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll start my business. Someday I'll pursue the life I actually want. But someday almost never comes. Because every time you push your dreams into the future, you train your mind to believe that they are not urgent, that they are not important, that they can wait just a little longer. And over time, that habit becomes your identity. You become the person who delays, the person who waits, the person who knows exactly what he should do, but never quite gets around to doing it. But at some point, if you are honest with yourself, something inside you starts whispering the truth. You start realizing that life is moving faster than you expected. The years are passing, opportunities appear and disappear, and you begin to understand that time is not something you can negotiate with. The clock does not slow down for anyone. Every second that passes is gone forever, which means the real question becomes very simple. Are you going to keep waiting, or are you going to start building? One of the most powerful moments in a man's life is when he realizes that nobody is coming to save him. Nobody is coming with the perfect opportunity. Nobody is coming with the exact words that will suddenly change everything. Nobody is going to knock on your door and say, congratulations, today is the day your life becomes extraordinary. It doesn't work like that. Life gives opportunities to people who are already moving, to people who are already working, to people who are already building momentum. Because momentum attracts opportunity and stagnation attracts nothing. So if you are waiting for someone to give you permission to start, understand this clearly. You don't need permission, you need discipline. Now, when people hear the word discipline, many of them imagine something negative. They imagine restriction. They imagine suffering. They imagine losing the freedom to do whatever they want. But the truth is the exact opposite. Discipline is the highest form of freedom. Because when you have discipline, you are no longer controlled by your emotions. You are no longer controlled by distractions. You are no longer controlled by the momentary desire to take the easy path. Instead, you become the kind of person who can decide where his life is going and then move toward that destination every single day. Think about it. The man who lacks discipline wakes up every morning asking himself how he feels. The disciplined man wakes up every morning asking himself what must be done. And that difference, repeated day after day, becomes enormous over time because emotions change constantly. But discipline builds consistency, and consistency builds power. Let me tell you something about greatness. It is built in silence. It is built early in the morning when the rest of the world is sleeping. It is built late at night when the room is quiet and nobody is watching. It is built through thousands of small decisions that nobody applauds. Another workout, another hour of work, another moment where you choose discipline instead of distraction. Those moments may seem small. They may even feel insignificant at the time, but over the course of months, over the course of years, they accumulate, and slowly, almost invisibly, they transform you. The man who consistently shows up begins to separate himself from everyone else, not because he is special, not because he is lucky, but because he refused to stop. Now understand something very important. The real battle is not outside of you, it is inside of you. Inside every person there are two voices. One voice says, take it easy, you deserve a break, you can do it tomorrow. The other voice says, get up, move, build, become. And the voice that wins is the voice you listen to most often. If you constantly listen to comfort, your life will move in the direction of comfort. If you constantly listen to discipline, your life will move in the direction of strength. So the question becomes very simple. Who is leading your life, your comfort, or your purpose? Now here is something most people do not want to hear. Pain is part of the process. There is no path to greatness that does not involve struggle. Every successful person you admire has walked through moments where they wanted to quit, moments where the effort felt overwhelming, moments where the outcome was uncertain. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stay average is not the absence of pain. It is the willingness to endure it, because pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. And there is nothing heavier than the regret of knowing you could have done more, could have become more, but chose comfort instead. Greatness is not built in one moment. It is built brick by brick. One decision, one day, one action at a time. Imagine building a wall. If you place one brick today, the wall is still small. Place another brick tomorrow, and it still does not look impressive. But if you keep placing bricks every single day for years, eventually that wall becomes something massive, something unbreakable. That is how discipline works. Every action you take is another brick. Every day you show up is another brick. Every moment you push past resistance is another brick. And eventually you look back and realize you have built something extraordinary, not through sudden bursts of effort, but through relentless consistency. Now here is where everything begins to change. At first, discipline feels difficult. At first, it feels unnatural. But over time, something powerful happens. Your actions begin to shape your identity. You no longer think of yourself as someone who is trying to improve. You begin to see yourself as the kind of person who does the work, the kind of person who does not quit, the kind of person who shows up no matter what. And when that identity shift happens, discipline no longer feels like punishment. It becomes who you are. Imagine meeting the version of yourself 10 years from now. The version of you who either built the life you dreamed of or the version who kept postponing it. What would that future version say to you today? Would he thank you, or would he ask you why you waited so long? Because every decision you make today is shaping that future. Every moment you choose discipline builds the life he will live. Every moment you choose comfort delays it. So ask yourself honestly, what kind of future are you creating? At the end of the day, the choice is always the same. Comfort or growth, excuses or execution, average or exceptional. And every single day, you cast a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. So from this moment forward, stop waiting. Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop living as if you have unlimited time. Step forward. Do the work. Build the version of yourself the world has not seen yet, because that man is waiting, and the only thing standing between you and him is action. If this message spoke to you, do 3 things. Hit like. Subscribe if you are serious about building the strongest version of yourself. And in the comments write, day 1. Because today is not someday. Today is day 1.